Hi, welcome back to class. And this week we will be moving on to a slightly different, in a slightly different direction than when we normally go. So we're not going to use the book this week. This week we're going to get into looking at sociology and psychology a little bit in political science. And there's a couple of things we're going to do. So we're not going to have the book. We're just going to do a short reading from an article, and then there's going to be a short video we watch and about a 30-minute podcast we listen to. And after that, enjoy your Thanksgiving week. So this week, we're going to cover a little bit of feminism, and then we're going to look at a psychological concept. So we're going to look at moral licensing, which is a fun concept to understand. But it explains a lot when it comes to political science. So it explains people who do something new. So who, I guess, step into a new role. And the podcast focuses on last year's election, but it focuses on Hillary Clinton being a groundbreaker. Being the first female candidate on the ticket, on the top of the ticket for the Democratic Party, running for president, and she did take the majority of the vote, so she did get very far. But it was kind of the podcast is basically a warning about the comfort that people feel when there is somebody who, in this case, would have broken the glass ceiling with our politics. So I think you'll find it very interesting. I use it in my face-to-face classes, and the students generally really enjoy this discussion. So you're going to have a Dropbox, and I do suggest you open this before you start listening to these videos and doing the readings so you can answer them as you go. The first one is we're going to look at what feminism is, and this is an interesting question that, of course, you can only see part of my screen because of how I have this set up, but it's something that's not very well understood here. So I want you to get an understanding of what feminism is, and this is a political movement and has been going on for quite a while. Women have been fighting for equal rights, and this is important for women to understand, but also I think it's important for men to understand as well. So all the guys in the class will have an opportunity to understand what feminism really is. And like I said, generally people do not understand this concept too well. They have a feeling of what they think it is, but they're usually not right. So you can actually hear from the source. And I want you to use this article to answer these. I don't want you to go off and say what you think feminism is. I don't really care what you think it is. I want you to actually get in the habit of citing a source, and this is an actual source. So this isn't a feeling; it's a source. Then there's going to be a short video, "Women Who Make America," and that's about women. So it's filmed recently, in the last couple of years, and they show some prominent women, and they explain the concept of feminism a little further. This video is about 7 minutes, and the article is only a few paragraphs, but it's, like I said, very important for you to understand. And then next is The Lady Vanishes, and this is a podcast. And again, you can't see my whole screen. I do apologize. But this is a podcast from Malcolm Gladwell, and you can either download it or if you look to the side here, you can just hit the play button and get this up and play the video, play the podcast. I want you to pay attention to it when you're listening to it, so listen to the podcast, and there's some extra information on here, so you get to see a picture they talk about in the podcast. And there's a video this video is not the podcast. This is an extra video, and it's Julia Gillard's speech on misogyny. I'd like for you to watch this too, so you can understand what the Prime Minister of Australia did in the face of dealing with extreme sexism. She actually called out the person to their face across the table from her. So it's a wonderful video, and you get to see her political and professional response in their on their floor. So it's great. Like I said, he's sitting right in front of her, and he has to listen to her explaining how she feels. So like I said, he had a lot of sexism and misogyny he directed at her, and she got back at him and let him know how she felt. And then there's some extra information here, so if you do have more interest, you can go ahead and listen to these and go further with the podcast. But for this class, all you have to do is listen to the podcast. So again, you just hit the play button, be patient, it might take a while to load, and listen to the podcast. And then there's going to be some discussion questions this week. So Module 14. So I want 2 initial posts. Your main takeaway from the Why Feminism is for Everyone article. I want you to discuss this a little bit. This is, like I said, an important concept to understand. And then I want you to discuss a main takeaway from the Lady Vanishes podcast. Make sure your initial posts are more than a sentence long. I want you to have a well thought out short paragraph. That's all I'm asking is a short paragraph that shows you actually listened to the podcast and read the article. So that's all you have to do this week. And of course, you have to respond to your Module 13 discussion. So there's 1 question on there. So have at least 3 posts on 3 different days, and you'll be good. If anyone has any questions, make sure you get back to me. I'm still waiting for published letters. I do know some people have sent letters out that they think may have been published, or they're getting published in the next couple of days. So keep up the hard work on that. You can get extra credit. So I'll give you 20 points extra credit for doing this. We're getting close to the end of the semester, so you are running out of time to get that done. So if you haven't done it yet, please make sure you submit that and get back at me with any questions. Thank you so much. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. And like I said, if you have any questions, send me an email.